Hello, my name is Kevin Murphy from Baselines Incorporated. Thanks for watching this video. You can reach us at www.baselinesincorporated.com. Today I'm going to show you how to import a Word document into Doors Next Gen, but I'm also going to show you how to do some mapping. And most of this is probably pretty familiar to you if you've worked with the tool at all. But there was one part that I literally just learned a couple weeks ago, and I figured why not make this a podcast and or a screencast rather, and share the knowledge. So here's a sample document. You can see it's pretty clean, unlike the documents that you will be getting. These are all heading ones, even though they're not numbered. The numbering has no bearing as to how they'll be imported. And I've got a couple of tables here. I've got an image. Actually, I don't have the table yet. So I'm going to insert a couple of tables. And one thing I'll do, this will be 2 tips for the price of 1 here. So one thing, if you're ever in Microsoft Word and you want to quickly create a table, what you can do is use pluses and minuses. And the pluses represent where the column, the vertical bar, would be in the table, and the minuses are the length of the cell. You hit enter, and that's an autocorrect trick. So if that doesn't work for you, check your autocorrect settings. This is a table. And I get a tab and do another one. This is row 2. I'll do the same thing here. So again, you can use pluses and minuses. I know this is so much fun, isn't it? So I've got my tables, I've got my headings. I'm taking out the extra spaces just because I'm anal like that. And I've also got an image over here. I took this picture a few years ago, and it's one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken. So I figure why not put that into Doors Next Gen. So I'm going to go over really quickly. Actually, let me save my document. All right, so I'm over here now in Doors Next Gen. And what I need to make sure of first, I'm kind of assuming that this is you're an intermediate user, so I won't leave too much to chance here. If you go into your project and you go to Manage Project Properties, you need to have something that looks similar to this, whatever your own company uses. So I've got heading, image, paragraph, requirement, table. And the test plan collection, of course, you get for free. So that is, I need something in order to map a table, right? If I'm going to import a table, I need to be able to say, well, this is what a table is. And then same thing with the requirements. If it has a shall, I want it to map to a requirement. So these types have to exist. Out of the box, you get requirement and test plan collection. Everything else, you're on your own. So make sure that in the admin panel that those are there. So let me go back to my Word document because I do have one other thing to let you know about. In order to get these tables in, we have to use something called delimiters. And delimiters is kind of a computer science type term. Basically means you need to tell Doors where the table starts and where it ends, because Doors Next Gen isn't smart enough to just figure out, oh, this is a table. It is smart enough to figure out that this is an image, but it can't figure out that this is a table. So real easy way to do that is just have a paragraph that has start table and then end table. Okay, that's all you need. Again, I'm anal about my spacing, but something like this should work. And what I'll do is I'll skip this one and I'll show you how to convert within the tool itself to make this more of a complete holistic tutorial, just because you may miss one. You can also macro this. I've actually done that, and you may actually one day see that macro on baselineinc.com. It's very basic stuff, so I should be able to make that available sometime. So keep checking baselineinc.com for that. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to take my document and upload it to Doors Next Gen. Okay, so now here I am in Doors Next Gen, and I'm going to go to Artifacts, Import Artifacts. You get this nice little wizard here, and you want to choose this first one, the import requirements from within a text document. And then it asks you for files, so you'll find your Word document, and it gets uploaded in the background, and it's going to, by default, pick whatever folder you're in, so that's fine. Do I want to create a module for the new requirements? Yes, I do. And I can just say DNG sample import. I could also do this, but when I do that, it will bring the .docx in, which I don't like. The artifact type, oh, I did not create one. I should have created one called specification here. So anyway, you would pick a module type. For right now, I'll just choose requirement. I can change that later. So I'll click next. Okay. For each heading, create a heading. The system knows that. For each image, create. I want image. Okay. And this is where I'll say if there is a word shall in a sentence, I want it to be a requirement. You can also say match the paragraph. I haven't, in experimenting, I haven't seen much difference between those two. I'm sure that there is a difference. So I'm going to add my delimiter, which is start table and end table. And what this does for me is it basically, you're telling Doors that anything between those two words is going to be imported as a, not an image, but a table. You can also say don't import this, which is very nice as well. For all other text, you want to have a default paragraph, something, right? So something that's not requirement or heading or anything like that. So then I click next, and in the background, although it's really not background, it'll give you a paragraph. I'm sorry, it'll give you a paragraph. It will give you a statistics on what's going to happen before it happens, which is very nice. The Doors 9 and below don't do that. So it says one table. I do have two in the document. I'll show you how to make that conversion. So this is all as expected. Click finish. And if your document's big, this is where things can take a little bit. You click close here. And there's my DNG sample import. Let's see how it came out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this little double arrow to get rid of all the panels. And I am going to choose my artifact type. Heading, this is a paragraph. This is another paragraph. This is great. Look, that became a table. And notice that the start table and end table did not come in. That's what we wanted. What about this? This is a paragraph. That's not good. We don't want that. So there's a couple of different ways to do this. The easiest is just to edit this. And what you can do is just change it from the drop-down list. Right now, I don't have anything really defined for modules yet. So I'm just going to say you got to go down to that more define, and then click table here. Say it's a normal row, not a heading row. Click OK, and then you're done. Close. You can see there it became a table. And if I did not want this to be a requirement, so here's the other way I can do it. I can go to edit attributes, and here I can change it from requirement to whatever I want, paragraph in this case. But I'm not going to do that. Just hit cancel. And there's my picture, and you can see it got mapped to an image as well. So that's important to do. The way that you can start to use this, and the reason it's important to do to make sure that you've got types, is that a requirement will have different attributes than a table. And then you can also do filtering in the tool. I could say, hey, show me all my tables. And there's all my tables, just like that. I could save that view. The other thing is when I do an export, if I customize my export through RPE or something like that, then I can say, everything that's a requirement should be centered in purple. Everything that's a table should be left aligned. you have control over formatting. But really, the idea is the big Doors Next Gen thing is that a table is a different entity than a requirement, and a requirement is a different entity than a heading. And that's a key differentiator between Doors Next Gen and the old Doors 9 and below, referred to as Doors Classic by many people now. So both tools still have their purposes and their places and their strengths and weaknesses, but Doors Next Gen definitely having the different artifact types, because everything in the old Doors was just an object, and every object had the same attributes regardless. So now a table can have a different attribute than a requirement. So that's why it's important to do. I hope that this has been informative for you. And if you've got any IBM Rational Jazz or IBM Rational anything needs, always feel free to contact me. Just head down to www.baselines.inc.com. That is on the screen there. I'll have it typed up and hyperlinked and all that good stuff. And you can always contact us about pricing, consultancy, training. I've got a lot of resources at my disposal. We are an official IBM business partner, and we can actually give discounts above and beyond what IBM can provide. I'm also very savvy with regards to licensing, and if you're interested in purchasing, especially with Jazz, there's some things that I can do for you. So thank you again for watching this, and until next time, Kevin Murphy signing off.